Hello, people that's on this internet. It's me, Crazy Monkey, signing back in with yet another review, and immediately do I wish I had that card table back. Haha. Because today we're reviewing the Dark Hunter Primal, and the reason why I say that, I wish I had the card table back, is because if I just do a brief pullback, yeah, he's big. Like, not just like tall. That's not the problem. He's very long. And yeah, we'll get into that, I guess, right now. For story, I guess, we're gonna pull up my book, and my tripod is doing something. Okay, it's fine. There we go, flip right to him. He was a savage warrior from a tribe whose land was overrun by Visorak, and he and a small band of survivors managed to battle against them, and he became a Dark Hunter because the Shadow One found him. And from the start, he was very difficult to train and very difficult to keep in his ranks because he had a strong sense of justice. Because he unlike a bunch of other ones, he mainly did hunts and recruit, or he mainly did like hunts and like jobs for like the moral good. He was one of the very few, I guess, to have like a moral compass. And after a while, I think he also was partnered up with some Dark Hunters, as you usually are, given a partner, and he just always managed to come back alone. I don't exactly remember why. I think it's because either he killed them or he just didn't care and let them get killed. So it was either one of those things. And that's basically it for story. I'm just gonna get into the review now, and where do I start? I guess we start from the back and then work our way forward. So we're gonna lift him up, and I'm gonna spin him around a little bit. I'm gonna work on the back. Now, we'll start with the legs, I guess, which he has 4 of. So we're gonna again start with the back and work our way forward. But I'm not gonna do the legs in the front because they're exactly the same as the ones in the back. There are modded arm pieces with this no, not Votorak. Vaki. It's one of the Vaki. I don't remember. I don't know why I can't remember my Vaki off the top of my head. But I remember it's the black one. It's the black Vaki. It's that staff piece. He uses 4 of them for every leg, and he has that one point going side to side, and minorly up and down. So, yeah, that's same for all 4 legs. The back here, this might be white, not silver, but whatever. The back here, he has 2 points of articulation here in this Borak limb, and he has 1 point here in this other, it's Kilrak, I actually remember it's Kirak's staff piece, here. And it makes this kind of stinger and rear abdomen. It's really cool. This is something I really like about this guy, by the way. He's a very unique and very cool ant. I would describe him as more as an ant than a spider or arachnid or anything, and my tripod is having trouble because of the fact he's so big. There we go. So yeah, he's got 3 segments to him. This segment right here isn't connected to anything. It just is a rear segment. And then the center segment here is got 2 legs. We're gonna do a bit of a top-down view on that. And then the final segment right here on the body connects up to the body, obviously. And every single one of these uses the Roxy foot on either side, and a bunch of little technic connections, and the hands is just kind of bulk them up and make them a little bit together, I guess. Now the torso itself, as we work up our way up to the torso, we're going to do the torso first. He's going to be very difficult to pose in this very small space. I have a very small space, but whatever. The torso is very complex. It's a very technic heavy build because of the fact that it uses very weird connections and odd like angles. But it does so in a way that doesn't really friction the pieces all too much and cause like illegal connections, I guess. I guess the most illegal would technically be these every single leg connections because they kind of stress out the joint. But this piece right here, this torso was really cool. Let's get him down a little bit. So it is all based upon a Mata torso, which you could barely see poking out right there. I gotta get my hand out of the camera. Barely see it poking out right there. You can tell it's a Mata torso. And then there's these 2 Slicer torsos that pop out on either side. And then you're topped off with a Nuva armor piece with a Nuva limb going over it. And it looks really, really solid. I think this Dark Hunter looks, again, really cool. And finally, I guess, before we get up to the head and arms, this little thing here, this is his poison stinger, which also, mind you, this is the only modification he accepted from the Dark Hunters. This is how he looks naturally. So he's not mutated in any way. This is his natural look. And this is the only modification he has, which is a last minute kind of like paralyzing dart launcher thing, and you can kind of do whatever it want. I like to just call it his crotch gun, because it's literally on his crotch. But, you know, whatever. You can fold it up and do whatever. It's got 2 points there, because it's just a slicer limb. Let's see if we can actually kind of stand him up again. There we go. Now we're going on to the arms, I guess. Arms, they're very basic. There's nothing really too spectacular with them. They're connected on a ball joints to the torsos. And it's just a basic, you know, metrolimb connection with some of the slicer feet or whatever these little connectors are. And a voculimb, and then and then they're identical on either side. They use the Takanuva, the Evoki, the Silver Evoki that Makuta uses for arms, and quite a few other Dark Hunters, mind you, use for hands as well. And his staff is just another one of those Killrack staffs in a long, long line of, you know, Technic axles. And he's got armament on his shoulders as well, which is the Coating Claws, and again, looks very solid as a Dark Hunter. And then we're going to move to the head and the neck, which is just literally just that. That's just the neck. And he has the 1 point there. And you can't really look down too much because of the way it's connected. You can look up right a bit though. And he looks side to side. And this head is actually really cool because it's a Visorak head. It's a Sukarak head. And it's really, really nice because it uses the Sukarak carapace along with I think it's Nirok or something like that. It's the red Vaki again. I'm not too good on my Vaki names. It uses his that Vaki's staff piece for his jaws on either side, and it uses the Golly Hook in white to just kind of really nice fill in that void. It looks just so good. And it also uses, mind you, it is supposed to be using these white studs, and that's just so it keeps it in, because if it doesn't, it tends to fall out. And you can probably caught a glimpse of that, because they do tend to like sag down a little bit, but they're supposed to really, really help keep them in place. Again, this whole Dark Hunter looks so good to me. I love the look of him. This is actually one of the very first Dark Hunters I have. I remember I was watching a couple of my old videos, and you could see him lurking around. Kind of unfinished, but still, this is one of the first Dark Hunters I had, and this is the actually first Dark Hunter I built. Because all the other ones either bought or were already like, I bought them, or I already got them in like hauls and like partly complete, but like those are really just the combo models. This is the first Dark Hunter I actually got to build, and as you can see, really, really cool look. I love the look of him. He's just very big, and I have a very small space, and I really wish I had that card table, because I could plop this back all the way in the back, and he can just kind of be all the way back here and be nice, but no, I don't have enough room. Now we're going to, I guess, move on to the size comparison as my tripod decides to collapse in on itself. Give me 1 second. Nah, we'll just deal with it collapsing as I get this done. We're going to do this with, I got to hold it for it anyway, because of how big he is. We're going to start off with, of course, a Metru build, because he's a Dark Hunter, so we're going to start off with a Metru build. Kind of get this guy's net up. He goes up at about, you know, his waist. Moritaurin, which he's been laying here basically all day. Stand him up. Again, also up about his waist. And then we get Lacan, which is the Metru build, and I'm going to let the tripod sag. There we go. We got Lacan here, who would have fought the guy. We're actually going to put them in the front. Now I'm just kind of bringing back the tripod. So he's much taller, obviously. So he's a bit taller than a normal Metru build. And I don't think that the good old reliable Scotty guy, where he is, there he is. I don't think he's going to beat out the Scotty. Yeah, he doesn't even come close to beating out that Scotty. You can't even really see him. Let's put him back over here. Again, mean mugging every single, mock on this table. So he's a very, very big and very cool looking figure. He's imposing. I think personally he looks like astounding. Very unique, very much out there. He used something that really you don't get to see a lot in Bionicle, which is, again, people think he looks like an arachnid, like a spider, because he's got the, you know, the Visorak head, which, funnily enough, I do actually have a Sukarak right here. This is kind of unintentional. I have a Sukarak, so let's actually do a little bit of a comparison with a Visorak. So I'm not going to move that much, Matoran guy, but I'm going to pop the Visorak right there. And yeah, no, he's very, even the mere fact that he uses the same, you know, carapace, it doesn't really look like a Visorak carapace. Like, he uses it in such a way that's, like, unique. It's different, and I like him about that. And, again, he does it so well. And again, people like to point out that, oh, he's a spider, he's an arachnid, or whatever, right? But I think he's more of an ant. Like, he's got the 3-segmented body, and he's got a weird ant centaur. He's got a stinger. People thought, I remember there was a view of this guy. He said it was a 5th leg. I don't really think it's a 5th leg. Or supposed to be a 5th leg. I personally think it's supposed to be a stinger. So I always have it pointed up. So, yeah. I guess the cons about this guy is that he doesn't really have too well of articulation, given the fact that there's only really, like, one here. And another thing that I must mention, because I didn't mention it before, I'm actually missing 2 pieces. They're the same piece. They're the weird, like, hose connections that Kreka used for his eyes, and, like, a lot of the old, like, 80s sets used for, like, the details and the little, like, hose things. He's supposed to have 2 of those on the back there on his torso. And they're supposed to connect into the second segment right here. And that actually gives him a lot of stability. I think it's just because of the fact that the rubber's, like, residual, and it, like, holds itself up. But it's supposed to be, he's supposed to have those. So without them, he sags, like, a lot. Like, it doesn't take much to just kind of, like, make him sag down. But at the moment, he's very stable at the moment because he's on a, you know, a base plate, and that has things to grip onto. But if you have him off, like, on a smooth surface like this table here, he will sag without those. So I do recommend getting those. I just don't have them, so that's my bad. But I guess a couple other cons. His neck is literally just a weird stick. I don't really like the look of his neck. And even though, okay, so even though I'm using the modern, like, voodoo ball head, like, pieces for his arms and his neck, they do tend to pop off. So that's kind of a mad thing. And again, he doesn't have all too good of articulation in the legs. That's really about it with his cons. I personally really like this guy. I think he's a good set, or at least a good model to build. I totally, wholly recommend you build him. Don't buy him on eBay. It's a scam. Build him. It's way better. You'll get it for way cheaper. And instructions are online. I'll put them down in the description below. If you want to build him. So yeah, I personally recommend this guy. He's a very, very cool Dark Hunter. Yeah, and I guess this is the end of the video. Again, thank you so much for watching this review, even if it was incredibly scuffed. Again, tomorrow is going to be the final installment of Baraki Week, or at least just the Baraki reviews with Karpar. And tomorrow, I might do another Dark Hunter. I might do Charger. If not, I'll probably, or like Tyrant or something like that. If not, I might do one of the Rahi I've got built. And yeah, we'll just go on from there. And again, so that's going to be tomorrow. And then Saturday, we're going to be, I'm going to be reviewing Druidika and Prutaka. So I do recommend sticking around for that if you're interested. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe to your basic YouTube shit. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. This is Crazy Monkey Dude signing back out with this review. Bye.